Hey YouTube, I'm back with another deck profile video. In this video, I'm going to be doing a deck profile on the updated Neo Nectar, Ranunculus, Ahsha deck. So this one's based off of the cards from the new trial deck that came out. They will get another... This deck will be short-lived in the sense that Tri 3 is coming out soon. It's going to add the new Ahsha. People may not even run this Ahsha anymore, or people will run both, which I probably will be doing. And yeah, it's going to be getting a bunch of new stuff, new Sentinel, new all kinds of stuff. But this focuses on improving the bloom. It's basically a minor update. It's basically just adding a bunch of trial deck cards to the existing deck that I had before. So as you can see here, let's get right into it. First up, we're running 4 Ranunculus Flower Maiden Ahsha, the new artwork. Even though I only pulled out of my 2 boxes, I did get the signed card. I unboxed that one. I always seem to do that for some reason. And then the one common in the other box. So I got rid of the old one. I could do like the old, like 2 of this and 2 of the old one, but I want to just go with all the new artwork to make the deck look a little bit more refreshed. Then Inez came back. I put her back in because Raoni and Marjuka aren't really needed in here anymore because I wanted to run an Elma. So Inez is back. She's pretty good. There's some pretty ridiculous combos with her. Searching, adding to the hand, going back in the deck, and then doing the bloom stuff, loop it all. She does have a nice on-ride skill. If you can't get Ahsha, you ride Inez, and then you counterblast 1, soul blast 1, check top 5, you know, the drill. Search for a bloom, add it to the hand. So 7 grade 3s, same as last time, just now I'm running Inez again. Most people never took her out. She's still really good. Next, a new card from the trial deck, 4 Anelma. So Osmanthus Maiden Anelma is pretty interesting card. They're starting to diversify the bloom effect a little bit more now. Now instead of it just like when another card with the same name is placed on the rearguard circle, the one that's there will then choose up. Normally it's like it chooses all the same name up to like 5 or 4, but this one's a little bit different because this one allows you to give 2k power to 3 units of your choice. So you can give the card that's activating the bloom power, you can give the card that's activating plus the other card that was called, or you can give this, the Vanguard, and something else, or just completely 3 different other units. It's not rearguard restricted, like you can give the Vanguard, because it says unit, not rearguard, up to 3. And then if you have Ranunculus in the card name, this unit gets the boost skill, so you can use her as a booster as well. Not as flexible as, say, Green Shot Elf, which I'm still running because until they get newer cards from Tri 3, I felt like Green Shot Elf is still really good. In the sense that the boost skill is really easy to pull off with this one as long as you clone a Green Shot Elf. So 4 of each of them, because those are your main like grade 2 bloom cards. Then you could run, if you don't have this next card, so next I'm running 3 Thuria, because Thuria is still really good because she can clone any of those 2, any card. You choose one of your units, she gets the name of it, so she can even clone Ahsha's name, and that's typically how the Stride Ahsha gets the critical. But besides that, Thuria can be used to clone, basically like add more bloom power to the deck, so that's why I feel like she's better. If you don't have her, there is a nice card that came out in the trial deck. It doesn't have the bloom skill, but it's basically a grade 2 when it hits Counterblast 1, it's a GB1 effect, Counterblast 1, check top 5, search for bloom, reveal it, add it to hand. It's on hit, but it's kind of a decent budget card if you don't have Thuria. I would recommend running that card. That's the grade 2 lineup. So really just Anelma replaced 1 Thuria, and she replaced my Raonis. For grade 1s, 4 Cherry Blossom Blizzard Maiden Lilga. So she is in here as a Sentinel still because she's the Bloom Sentinel, so she's the best one to run, especially since we're running Inez. There's really no reason not to run her. Neo Nectar doesn't really counterblast that much at all at this point. And it's still going to be arguably whether, like, it's still going to be debatable whether you're going to keep Lilga later on or you're going to run the new Corolla Dragon Sentinel that is coming out in the Tri 3 set. So next, 4 Padmini, because making sure that you ride Ahsha is still relatively important. Although riding Inez is not all that bad, especially if you fall behind, like if you had the G assist to get up to grade 2 or whatever. Inez is still pretty good because she checks top 5, and usually you're always going to get a bloom unit. So there's that. So, but 4 Padmini, if I wanted to, I may consider dropping her to 3 and bumping Inez back up to 4. Some people are telling me that I should run 4 Thuria, so I should run like 12 grade 2s. I don't really feel that's necessary. Thuria doesn't have the bloom effect. I'd rather run a 4th Inez. Next, 4 Katrina. She's still really, really good. And then next, 3 of a new card. I'm running 3 Ravishing Maiden Penelope. Basically, I'm running 15 grade 1s, so I can actually clone her. It's likely that I'll be able to clone her, and so far I have been able to. But what I could do is I could try like 2 Padmini, 4 Penelope, and then 4 of the grade 3 of Inez. But let me know in the comments like how you guys would run the grade 1 and 3 lineup, or even all, like the whole lineup. Because so far in playtesting, this is pretty good. I've been able to win quite a few matchups against Angel Feather and a few against Gear Chronicle, but that was usually the nerf Gear Chronicle build that I was going up against, and a couple of others. I think Genesis was in one, and I forgot what the other one was. Next, for the trigger lineup, it's still the same with the exception of a new heal trigger. So 4 Lisbeth, because she's still at 4 in the English format. 4 Millis. Lisbeth is really good because she has bloom, so you want to run 4 of her so you can potentially search it with Inez or whatever, have more bloom. Then 8 critical, 4 of them being your the Ahsha one, and then 4 of the new heal, because it has the new artwork. They finally have a non like animalish looking heal, because they were running the dragon for like a long time. I guess I could take her out and run the newer, like the musketeer looking guy, but they're all, it's like all females in this deck. It's all waifu stuff. So then yeah, so Color Pixie is replacing the dragon, and then I am running Ida, Augury Maiden, Ida or Ida, depending on where you are in the world, you pronounce that name differently, but she's replacing Elmi, and that's really hard for me to replace Elmi, because Elmi has been so good helping this deck for so long, just the 2 copies. Basically, these 2 replaced Elmi, my 2 Elmis, so she's pretty interesting because she has a lot of weird like combo potential. I'm still forcing myself to use this card over Elmi to force myself to learn the newer combos and the in and outs of the deck. So that's the main deck. So far it's pretty fun. It feels a lot more technical than the previous build, especially since like Anelma and Penelope are not, they're not generic, like clone all the stuff with the same name as them. It's like choose some other units, so it's interesting. For the strides, I'm running 1 Flower Princess of Faith, Celine. She's from the trial deck. She is a decent starter, and she does fix the reason, like with her, usually I go into her if my Ida dies early against someone like Kagero. If like Kagero uses the draw trigger to kill her off, then I'll probably stride into Celine. Celine is also really good with the newer Ahsha, because the newer Ahsha won't be as like dependent on you rushing to GB2 as fast as you can, the way the old one is, but Celine does help it, so you no longer have to run 2 of your starter, which was a big problem with the deck, because it forced you to run a funny ride consistency. It wasn't that bad, but it's still like forcing you to run non-standard compared to in other matchups against like Gear Chronicle, Shadow Paladin. It's kind of annoying that you're running a weird lineup. Not counting TikTok Worker though, that's a different story. But yeah, Celine's pretty cool. She's basically your go-to first stride if Ida dies, like I said. Otherwise, usually you're still gonna probably stride, at least for now. The Dream Spinning Ranunculus Ahsha is still like the go-to first stride. It ensures GB2. It makes your first like push really strong. And then 2 of the Ranunculus Inglorious Bloom. So she's still a pretty good finisher card. She has inherent critical, blah blah blah, really strong columns. Next, I'm still sticking with 3 Verano, because in recent history, at least with me testing the deck, Verano has come in really handy, and I've learned a bunch of hilarious combos with her, helping you get their on-stride skill, cycling stuff from the drop zone. So Verano at 3 is still going to be at 3 for a long time. I may drop her to 2 eventually to try like Inverno, but then I'm not even sure like what all I would like run if I was gonna run Inverno. Maybe take out Imatar, but for now the lineup is the following. So it's 1 Celine, 4 Dream Spinning, 2 Glorious, 3 Verano, 2 Imatar. Imatar is actually very underrated. Like, people say this card's terrible. No, it's not. If you have the right setup and if you know your opponent doesn't have a lot of 10k shields that turn, then... And also, if your opponent is at low damage, they're more likely to let 1 or 2 of those rear guard hit so you can draw. So, pretty good card, especially in the Bloom build. But maybe she'll be replaced with Inverno. I'm not sure yet. Maybe these 3 cards will become Invernos. Plus, maybe this. I don't know yet. Let me know like what you guys would change up for at least the offensive stride units. Then for the defensive ones, for now it's 2 Rain Breath Dragon, 1 Verna. Verna is kind of underwhelming, but they are going to get a much better one, at least for Rinoculus builds in Try 3. And then 1 Desmal, because Desmal can protect your rear guards, and protecting your rear guards is pretty important. So that's basically it. The deck will see quite a few changes in next month. But let me know what you guys think of Neo Nectar. Do you think they can actually do pretty well this year, since Bushiroad did try to nerf Gear Chronicle to some degree? Do you think that they can keep up with Atmile and other relatively strong GB restricted, or I guess stride formatted decks? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.